Hello, word nerds. We have a couple of fun ones this week. So we have this section, which is actually called miscellaneous. The word miscellaneous means like kind of like a variety of things, an assortment, various different roots. These are in no way, shape, or form connected. They're just a couple of roots that don't have their own page. And then we also have this jud, which means law, justice, and a judge. That we're working on this week. Notice how I did not, by any circumstances, try to cut out every little nook and cranny of this judge. That would be such a waste of time. So I just kind of cut out around the head, around the gavel, which is this little hammer thingy, and then cut down. So if you notice right here, I cut the first one away from the top. And I have all my little flippies. And over here, this one of the easiest ones ever. Like, it's very easy to tell what we do here. Okay, so let's start with Tele. Tele is probably one of the most familiar ones that we've heard of. And Tele means, when do it big, means far. And so some of the words that we're going to put 4 down here. Some of the words that connect are going to be telescope. The telescope helps people see far away. We have telegraph, which is the technology that puts writing far away to people who need to see it in the olden days. This is like during westward expansion time period and stuff like that. And we have telepathic, which is the belief that people can communicate from far away inside their brains, which is kind of like a science fiction-y type thing. And we also have television, which is a box that transmits signals from far away. So used to be, now we have streaming and stuff like that, so it's kind of almost like a digital file. But it used to be that stations would actually project the signal out, kind of like when Miss Tyner decides to do the news, she projects it out to us at a certain time. And that's how a lot of the radio stations would do. Now, it wouldn't necessarily be live all the time, but they would at least play what they wanted to play. So, tele means far. All right, and then we have ab, which is away from. Away from. So, let's do a couple of dots. Let's do 4. Pick my favorites. We have the word absent, which means you are away from school. We have abnormal, which means something is away from being normal, meaning it's not normal. We have the word abuse, which you are away from being used properly. So it's usually somebody not being treated kindly, whether it's an animal or a human or something like that. And we also have the word, let's use, this is a big one, okay, abdicate, which means it's like when a king or a queen or a prince or somebody decides that they're not going to take the throne. So they are away from dictating. So this root right here, D-I-C, means to say. So that means that they don't want to be a part of like being the spokesperson. They're away from being the speaker. So they, like, I'm trying to think of like a Disney movie where they say, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be king. I don't want to be queen. That's abdicating. You get rid of ruling. All right, dys, means bad or abnormal. All right, I'm doing my dots. So we have dysfunction, which means something is not functioning normally. So it's abnormally functioning. Or it's functioning badly. So you have dyslexia, which is a condition, and it's one that Percy Jackson had in the book. Lots of very intelligent people have dyslexia. But people with dyslexia have an abnormal time with their reading ability, so it can be a bit of a struggle for them to read. It doesn't mean they can't read, but it does present some challenges. It could be a little challenging. Dysentery, it's a big word, dysentery, that is a disease. It was very popular during, well, not popular, but it was very common during the Oregon Trail when people were traveling west and different things like that. It is an illness that most people do not recover from. And there's not really any others that I specifically want to use, so we'll just kind of ignore this last dot. Now, words like disappointment are spelled D-I-S, and there are other D-I-S words that don't belong on this list. And then neo is a word that means new. N-E-O means new. So, like neon. Usually that was like a new type of sign, and it tried to draw people's attention to new places. Now we just recognize it as a certain sign. Neoclassical is a type of artwork that is new, but it references the classics, so things that are a little older. We have neonatal, which is a medical word, so like in the doctor's office, that refers to babies. So it's like new babies. And neoprene is a type of material. I don't really know how neoprene, this material, refers to new, so I don't have a good suggestion for you on that one, but neoprene is a material. All right, now let's look at our judge. So remember, all of these things have to do with law or getting fairness, justice. Okay, first word, judgment, is a decision made to be fair to most. So judgment. So sometimes you have to make a decision and it needs to be good. Let's say a good decision. Okay, sometimes things could be a bad judgment, like the ref could make a bad judgment call and people may not agree that it's fair. Sorry, my little phone was on helping me with some of these. So juror is a person who is a member of a jury. And a jury is a group of people who are everyday people that are not like lawyers or judges or anything, but they are a part of big court cases and they help the judge make a decision. So the jury works together to come up with a choice and then shares that with the judge, and the judge makes their final decision. Okay, perjury is a crime of telling a lie in court. So when you're in a trial and you're in the court, you're supposed to be telling the truth. And if you lie, then that is a crime. It's a big deal. That's called perjury. All right, jurisdiction. And so we know that has D-I-C in it again, which we know means say. The power or right to have say over laws and criminals. I don't have enough space to write criminals, but I'll put I'm just going to write it. It's just going to hang out. Laws and criminals. So sometimes you might see a cop driving around that's from a different city. They're not going to be able to pull somebody over. So like, let's say you're in Atlanta and you see a cop from Greenville driving a cop car down there. That cop is not going to be able to right then and there pull somebody over in Atlanta because that's not their jurisdiction. They don't have any say in the area over the laws and criminals. And then the last one, a prejudice, is an unfair feeling or judgment on a person or group of people. Sometimes people can have a prejudice based on race, gender, religion, all sorts of things. But the feelings that they have are unfair against the people that they're holding them against. All right, guys. Good job.